to say goodbye.
But why, Boris? Why?
I've made up my mind. I'm going away.
Then I shall be alone.
That journey into the desert you've spoken of, you will take it alone.
What else can I do?
Once you said to me that peace and happiness might be found, you gave me hope. And now we have to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh my God. Can anybody hear me? Hello? Hello? I don't believe this. Oh my God. Can anybody hear me? Oh my God. I just proved that I'm a fucking noob to this bullshit. I've been sitting up here and talking for the last 10, 15 minutes. I'm wondering why the chat room is so fucking small when I got over 2,700 subs and not realizing that nobody can fucking hear me because I turned my fucking audio off. Jesus Christ. Can everybody hear me now okay? I'm wondering why I'm looking the whole time I'm asking y'all, why is there only 8 or 9 people in the live stream? What the fuck? I'm averaging 1,000 fucking views per day on my videos. How can there only be 10 people in the fucking chat room? It's because y'all couldn't hear me. Oh my God. Do y'all have any idea how much shit I just got done talking and y'all didn't hear none of it? God fucking damn. What now I gotta go through all of this shit over again, man. I'm fucked up. Y'all, I gotta start this whole fucking thing over, man. Damn. Anyway, let me just y'all, let me switch to some music right quick. I gotta pull up the fucking graphics that I was just showing y'all because I was trying to make a point, okay? So I'm gonna play a little music and then I'm gonna come right back, okay? Sorry about that, guys. Damn. I forgot to switch my fucking mic back on. Damn, damn, damn. Ain't that about a bitch?
Never listen a beat, yeah. Boy, was it neat, yeah. Not just neat, she was totally neat when she did the freak with me. Never listen to beat, yeah. Boy, was it neat, yeah. The girl's a freak, the girl never misses a beat, yeah, yeah, yeah. She was totally neat when she did the freak with me. It didn't work, no. It wasn't working no more. And then she did it, she was totally deep when she did the with me. Round and round, she's the freak of my desire. And when she does, she set the world on fire. The little girl's the freak of the week. When she does, she gives me happy feet. She's the freak of my desire. When she does, she sets the world on fire. She gives me happy feet. She's the freak of the week. Never listen to beat, yeah. Boy, was it neat, yeah. She was so lady, pushing in the break with me. It didn't work, no. Out loud, lots of love. Buggy wasn't bugging. But she was not just needy, she was so lady, pushing in the break with me. It got into my head. Something about it. It got into my hands. 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 my pants and I need to dance. I got ants in my pants and I need to dance. Woo! Chicken ain't cooking, bones weren't cooking. But your music moved me, it moved me. Music and the beat. So I try to liberate my feet. This be me, immersed in funk so deep. Dance in my pants and I need to dance. Dance in my pants and I need to dance. She was so funky, oh, oh. The girl's a freak, the girl never misses a beat, yeah, yeah. It didn't work long. Make no mistake, this funky music got what it takes to fool you sometimes, knock you down, make you want to turn around and do it one more time. Yeah. Something about the music, oh, yeah. Ants and I need to dance. I got ants in my pants and I need to dance. Woo! Chicken ain't cooking, the moose wasn't cooking. But your music moved me, it moved me. Music and the beat. So I try to liberate my feet. This be me, immersed in funk so deep.
All right, all right. First of all, let me start this off the right way this fucking time. Let me make sure this shit, because this shit is trying to fuck me up. Can everybody hear me this time? Can everybody hear me this time? Please say yes. Can everybody hear me this time? Hello. Can anyone hear me? Let me know in the chat room if you can hear me, because I'm not going to be talking. Okay, so first, before we get to tonight's wonderful show, starting over, let me explain what the fuck happened in the first 10 fucking minutes. I call myself cutting the audio off during the intro music, which was what's her name, Cyndi Lauper's "Time After Time." I love that song, but when the song ended and I started to come on talking, I forgot to turn my fucking audio back on Google Hangouts. So that's how y'all saw me switching in between graphics, but you didn't hear shit because I was talking, not realizing that y'all couldn't hear me, and not realizing why the chat room was so small with only like 8 fucking people in it. But we gonna do this shit right this time. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming to tonight's live stream. This has been something that had been in the works for me for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Let me get the right graphic up here first of all. Okay. Tonight, we are talking about black men in single life, analyzing what life is really like for a Marlboro man brother. Okay. Now, as you guys know, I started the hashtag I'm a Marlboro man because of the fact that MGTOW and Red Pill, those movements and hashtags have been unfortunately compromised by a lot of these undercover, not so hidden simps and Captain Save-A-Ho Negroes, or Negroes that are just weak to black women. They want to be MGTOWs and red pillars, but they're weak to pussy. Okay, some of them have befriended me. I'm not gonna put their names out there, but y'all know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. You know, some of these brothers have just given up. They've just given in to their weakness. They don't even care who sees it any fucking more. And we're gonna touch on that in a moment. Also, just to let you guys know how tonight's live stream is gonna go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up into at least 2 hours. The first hour, I'm going to give some commentary because between recapping some of the things that we've talked about over the course of the last 2 weeks since I've been trying to get to this live stream, and also touching on things that I haven't gotten a chance to address. Um, I want to give commentary on that stuff. And then in the second hour, I'm going to bring some of you intelligent brothers on, and we're going to talk in the discussion panel about the stuff that I'm recapping on in the first hour, as well as the topic at hand. Once again, black men in single life, analyzing what life is really like for a Marlboro man. So before I get to the stuff that I want to address, and it's a couple of things. First, I want to explain to you guys what the purpose of tonight's live stream is. The purpose of tonight's live stream is to, hear experiences and honest assessments from different black brothers that have been single for a while. I said that I would prefer at least 6 months. Myself personally, I've been single for over a year. It's coming up on a year and a half now. My last relationship, which lasted 2 years but shouldn't have, it was over 2 years, and it ended back in 2017. Since then, I've learned to appreciate myself. I've learned to appreciate what I have available to me. I've learned to appreciate my own company. I wasn't looking for a relationship when I got with my last girlfriend slash fiance, and I certainly, after the bad taste that that whole left in my mouth, I certainly am not looking for anybody else to fill that void now. So the other purpose is also to help black men that are struggling with single life, because I understand there are a lot of brothers. There was this young brother, I don't know if he still listens to my show, all the way back a couple of years ago, named Justin out in Southern California. I know, he's a young, educated brother. He was having a really hard time with single life. And I was trying to help him over the phone. And I know there's some brothers that are good men. you know, they do what they're supposed to do, they handle their business, but they realize they've seen the venomous evil that comes from these these black females, as y'all call them, and they know now at this point to stay away, stay away, stay away. But it's not easy for them to do so because it is, you know, and that's one of the things that we're going to touch on. It is nature. It's human nature for a man to be both physically and sexually attracted to a woman. I mean, look at, can I show that? Let me see. I don't know if I can show that. That's okay. I was going to show y'all my computer screen. I don't get me wrong. I am very attracted physically and sexually to women. Okay. But what I have learned, what I have mastered is separating my penis and how it thinks from my brain and how it thinks. I also have figured out what I call the pussy game. Okay. I found out that, you know, I understand that men, a lot of them, they feel like they have a need for sex. And look, sex is natural. Okay. Sex is a necessity to continue our species. That's why there's such a strong drive in a lot of us, some more than others, to find a mate of the opposite sex to mate with. Okay, that's nature, and that's true in every species. Okay, but what we as black men need to understand is that we are up against something that few other men during few other times in history have ever been up against. We are up against a enemy that is of our own tribe, that makes up the collective of females in our own tribe. Okay, we're not like the Indians, you know, before the Trail of Tears, like Tecumseh fighting against, you know, the American colonials, you know, where he was trying to unite all the Indian tribes to go up against the white crackers that took their land. Okay, we are essentially fighting against people in our own fucking tribe that have no respect for us. A lot of them, they outright hate us. Okay, they want to see us emasculated, as y'all saw in the last video that I showed you guys. Well, one of the last videos before the Cardi B video of the female thought bot that was asking black men on Facebook would they suck a dick to save their own children, or would they suck a dick or let their kids die. When you have female black females who have mentalities like that, to ask a stupid trolling ass trifling ass question like that, that shows you how little respect this hoe actually has for you. A question that she wouldn't dare ask any other man that she was dating or fucking. A Mexican, a fucking Chinaman, a white man, that she would not dare ask any other man a question like that. The reason why she asked that question is because she has complete disdain for black masculinity. Okay, and even though a lot of them still want that dick, they want to see black men in dresses because this, you know, it's gone so long that, you know, we've had this matriarchal ruling underclass in black society, that now it's become second nature to them to disrespect the authority, the leadership, the wisdom and the manhood of real black men. A lot of these hoes, the only thing they know are these degenerate savages that they hatch out. They're not used to dealing with black men who had two parents who were, you know, mostly reared and trained by their fathers. They're not used to brothers like me, you know, or, you know, some of these other brothers on YouTube that aren't scared of them. We're not frightened by them. We can't be controlled or manipulated by them. Okay. And so we're going to be touching on that for sure. We're also going to be giving advice to brothers that are finding single life hard. We're going to be touching on the pros and the cons of single life. And yeah, we're just going to be hearing some stories. You know, I'm going to let you brothers have the floor, those of you who are going to join the panel. And I'm going to, you know, we're just going to share stories and see really where we are at. Because, you know, one thing I have come to learn within the last half decade for sure is that black men have to learn how to live with themselves, by themselves, and enjoy their own company. That's not to say that you're never going to get any more pussy. That's not to say that even one day you might wind up marrying a black woman and getting, you know, children. I doubt it. But you know, who knows what the future holds. But that means that you have to be in a mental, psychological position if you want a long, healthy life, okay, if you want a low stress life, you have to be ready and willing and okay with living by and doing by and for your motherfucking self and fuck everybody else, especially these hoes. Because if you don't, if you are one of the men who you wake up every day thinking about pussy, or you wake up every day depressed because you don't have, a wife or kids or a girlfriend, these parasitic females, as y'all call them, will eat you a fucking life, psychologically and in some cases even physically. If you get one of them nasty Cardi B type hoes that got all kinds of STDs crawling out her nasty ass pussy. But anyway, that's what we're gonna be talking about tonight. Let me first give a shout out to everybody in the live stream. Let me scroll down here. What's up, Roger Spice? My chief, one of my chief moderators. What's up, Rolando GPM for Hire G? What's up? What's up, Shy Five? What's up, Concerned YouTube Citizen? What's up, Beezy? What's up, Mr. Pirate Brain? Let me see who else we got in here. What's up, Tone Smith? Scrolling. What's up, Samuel Aldrich? Nice to see you in here, brother. What's up, Zachariah Williams? I almost never get everybody, but this time I'm gonna do it because I wasted y'all time for the first 10 minutes. So I'm gonna make sure I get everybody that's commenting in the live stream. What's up, Dion Covington? What's up, Robert J. Carmichael? Let me see. What's up, Bruce Wayne? What's up, Ken 8 to Draw? One of my other chief moderators. What's up, Error One? Scrolling. I think I got everybody this time. Okay. All right. So yeah. So what's up, Dan Grandbassa, uh, Diranami? I think that's the way you pronounce your name. What's up, bro? What's up, Christopher Owens? Scrolling. Think I got everybody this time. Oh nope. How can I forget my boy Red Pill Sigma? What's up, Red Pill Sigma? What up? Let me see. Just make sure I got everybody. What's up, Dark Force 73? What's up, Zeal? Zeal, I didn't know you was coming, bro. One of my other main men. What's up, Zeal? So, okay, guys, we're gonna get this party started now. Before we go into the discussion panel and we discuss this issue that I just summarized for you guys, hence the title "Black Men in Single Life: Analyzing What Life Is Really Like for a Marlboro Man Brother." First, I got to touch on some things, okay? And a lot of us, we've been talking about it, both in email. We've been talking about it in the chat rooms on YouTube. We've been talking about it in the community posts. There's a couple of things I need to get to, but first, since I missed this the first time, I just want to thank all of my new signups from the bottom of my heart, and it includes a couple of black females that recently signed up. I want to thank everybody that signed up on Patreon, whether you signed up in January, whether you were one of my first signups when I joined Patreon almost a year ago, whether you signed up in February, March, or just this April. I want to thank everybody that's showing their financial support in both PayPal donations and here on patreon.com. You prove that I don't need YouTube and Google's AdSense bullshit for nothing. They wouldn't monetize my channel, even if I tried to get them to monetize it anyway. So fuck them and their monetization programs. With these alternative crowdfunding sites, it's made it a lot easier for me to help you guys that want to show your support in a very special way. So I thank you for that. Also, for my paying patron members, just to let you know, right after this live stream, I'm going to start working on my next audio blog. It's going to be both in written and audio form, as always. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be, but I got a bunch of stuff written down on my memo app on my Android phone, and I'm gonna select one of those, and I'm gonna have a new audio blog available for you guys within the next 2 weeks or so. I guarantee it's Brian Blog Corner Club's promise. You're gonna get at least 4 audio blogs in both written and audible form per month. That's one a week because you guys are paying patron members. I feel like you deserve at least one audio blog per week. And this is content that only you, the paying patron member, can get exclusively for just $7 a month. 4 audio blogs. All of them are video length form, the audio track that comes with the written blog. You can get that again today. Just visit me at www.patreon.com/Brian Too Bad TV Solange. So yeah, become a Brian Blogs Corner Club member today and get access to exclusive content that you will only see exclusively on patreon.com. Now, with that out of the way, let me see another thing. Okay, so these are a couple of things that I want to share with you guys. First of all, this issue of foreigners in black communities. I was trying to tell you guys this in the first 10 minutes that you guys didn't hear me, so now I gotta say it all over again. I was in a conversation with a brother that he's one of my contractors. I work with him sometimes in my business, and I contract out to his company, and he's been we've been working with each other off and on for the last 2 months, and we brung up that issue of that brawl at that Korean, I think it was a nail salon or whatever the fuck in New York City. I think that was Brooklyn. And he shared something with me that was very interesting. I wrote down a little summary of what we talked about, and I want to share it with you, brothers. Um, just starting off. So this is what I wrote down. Said I had an interesting conversation with a brother that was in the Navy stationed in Korea. Okay. He told me that from his experience, Koreans and other foreigners that come over here to open up businesses are lower echelon business owners who can't compete in their own countries and neighborhoods, especially the ones that come to black neighborhoods. Essentially, they're like human parasites that open up nail salons, fried chicken joints, liquor stores, and gas stations in the poorest, most vulnerable neighborhood in the United States because they don't have what it takes to compete anywhere else, not in their country or in more upper class sections of the United States. They can drive in a black neighborhood because they can thrive in a black neighborhood because black people simply do not control their economy, which is why traditionally you have seen these types of businesses in rundown black areas where you don't really see them anywhere else in the United States. And so what he was telling me this from his experience, not only in Korea, but he's lived in several different states, New York, California. He even lived in Idaho once. And he said, the only places where you see these, these little, nail salons and these liquor stores, you don't see them in, you don't even see them in prominent black suburbs. The majority of where you see these liquor stores and stuff like that, and these weave shops are in black, rundown black neighborhoods. And the reason is because it didn't make any sense to me when I really got to thinking about it. It didn't really make any sense to me. I said, China, just as an example, is on its way to becoming the world's next superpower in the next 20 to 50 years. Why the fuck would the Chinese, why would they be, coming over here and sending their kids to Ivy League schools while opening up shops in, South Chicago or South Los Angeles? Why would they even lower themselves to, opening up businesses there? And the reason is because these store owners that we see in black neighborhoods that are, thriving and making all kinds of profit in black communities, they're not able to compete. If you see these same people in their respective countries like China and Korea, where they come from, they are on the lower totem pole of where they come from. Okay, they would be on the lower totem pole anywhere where you have Diversity Street. I think that's the name of it in Chicago, where they have different ethnic groups, and they have like authentic stores, Middle Eastern, Indian, Jewish, Chinese. These people cannot thrive anywhere else where they are surrounded by their own tribe. Okay. So when they come to our neighborhoods, and this just makes the whole matter of us not controlling our own economy even worse. What he was explaining is a lot of these motherfuckers cannot make it in their own, in their own respective communities, in their own respective countries, or in more upper middle class areas of the United States, which is why they come to the black neighborhoods, because this is something that has been going on since the 60s, especially with the Arabs in the liquor stores. Even Malcolm X mentioned the Arabs in liquor stores back in the mid 1960s. Okay. This has become a tradition for them since at least the early 60s, because it's easier for those that are on the lower totem pole, that lack the ability to be competitive in their own fucking markets, okay, to come to a neighborhood, to come to an economy that is basically anyone's grab, and basically just wreak financial havoc, you know thrive, just rake in the gold, because I mean, let's face it, the black areas are a no man's land as far as who actually claims it besides the banks, you know. So that's the reason why we see so many of these people in black neighborhoods. And so, that kind of that kind of goes into what we talk about when we discuss how the black men who know better, okay, we really need to be the people who are divesting from what I call Horistan. These bimbos call it Blackistan, I call it Horistan, because while they're complaining that we don't build anything, how can we build anything in a neighborhood that demeans black manhood and masculinity, and encourages black male degeneracy and deviancy, okay, and homosexuality, and corruption and crime, glorifies this stuff, as a matter of fact, you know and then you have these black churches that are only pouring lighter fluid on the already burning fire. There's nowhere for black men to set up shop in this type of situation. There really isn't. Most of the black owned businesses that you see in these ghettos are black females running weave and nail salons, and that's the ones that aren't Oriental or Arab. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that I wanted to bring up tonight, that it's pretty clear and obvious that black men, just need to find our own little space, and we need to set up shop there, by ourselves, completely separated from everyone else. As we build and as we develop, then we could possibly try to see about bringing other people on board with the situation that are like-minded like us. But it's just like Malcolm X said right before he died, when he started his own organization after leaving the Fruit of Islam. I think he named it the OAAU. He said, white people, when he came back from Mecca after visiting the Hajj, and he saw white Muslims, he said, white people can help us, but they can't join us. Not yet. There can be no black-white unity until there is first black unity. Okay, there can be no black females that are constantly trying to infiltrate black male spaces until we as black men get ourselves to fucking together. Because if we don't get ourselves to fucking together, we're just kidding ourselves. These females, they're gonna come in, claiming they on the black man's side. Niggas gonna start thinking with their dicks, and you're gonna have pretty much a repeat of what you see here on fucking YouTube right here and now. Okay, so that's one of the things that I want to emphasize. Moving on from that, speaking of, let me pull this stupid shit up. This next graphic that I need to show you guys. Okay. Now, one thing I've noticed, and all of us have noticed this within the last 2 months, something very disturbing. Now, if you recall, I believe I made a audio blog. What was that? It was a couple of months ago, where I talked about black females infiltrating black male spaces, coming off the backdrop of the failed feminist coup d'etat to character assassinate and virtually wipe out black men led by Simone 50 Tricks back in early 2017, actually about 2 years ago. Okay. And how these black females they, they switched up tactics and they decided, well, if we can't beat them, we'll join them and we'll defeat them from the inside. Now that they've inserted their pussotoxin, as I call it, into the black male spacey psyche of these niggas that claimed to be MGTOW and Red Pillar, and some of you know exactly the brothers that I'm talking about that are YouTube content creators. It's so bad now. Some of these black men who allowed these hoes like Nyla Says and Chrissy and Irene Yvette and Cynthia G and Paris Milan to come on their live streams, it's so bad now that they've inserted so much pussotoxin into these niggas' heads that some of these niggas have actually abandoned they have actually abandoned their own channels and have become regular members, regular show ups on the live streams of these females. It's so bad, even what's his name, the brother of Logic and Common Sense, aka Quasi, he made a video about it just a couple of days ago, and I'm excuse me, I made a video about it at least a couple of days ago, I think. Well, I know I made a video about it within the last week, of these Negroes that are, allowing themselves just to be completely taken over by this pussotoxin that has them thinking with their dick, and they had the nerve to call themselves Red Pillars and MGTOWs. There's a specific brother, I'm not gonna name his name. I know y'all know who I'm talking about. This brother, he helped me, so I have respect for him to some extent, but this Negro finds himself on this female. Well, now her stream is called the Neutral Zone, but it used to be called Renaissance Woman. He finds himself as a regular stream member, and I don't think they have any type of business agreement, contract, or anything like Paris Milan did with what's his name, Boyce Watkins. I think he's just coming on there. And you hear these black men arguing, going back and forth like a bunch of females with these hoes. And I'm just thinking to myself, my God, I used to go on this man's live stream. What happened? What happened? And I'll tell you exactly what happened. There were early warning signs. It's unfortunate. And this is kind of, it kind of ties into what we're going to be talking about tonight. The title of tonight's video, Black Men in Single Life, Analyzing What Life is Really Like for a Marlboro Man Brother, is that there were early warning signs to me that this brother was undercover weak for pussy. There were early signs that he was weak from the jump, and I hate that. I hate calling out brothers that I know, their heart is in the right place, but they're weak to their penis. I do believe that this is a good brother, but he can't control, he can't allow his brain to get in front of his penis. He's always sending emails and newsletters showing, silicone butt injected asses of these whores, and you can tell the asses aren't real, most of them. I mean, just these dumbass booties that these hoes have. And look, I show pictures of females that I either find attractive or are ratchet as fucking hell to prove a point in my videos, but he just overdoes it. And I was always thinking to myself when I went on his panels, I was thinking, man, this brother called himself MGTOW or Red Pill, but he sure is got pussy on the brain a lot to be a MGTOW or a Red Pill. I mean, that's kind of weird. And then past 2019, it just evolved to the point where this brother, he just gave it up. He just gave it up and just said, man, fuck it. I don't care about, trying to fake it anymore. I'm just going to be me. Now, look, if you that type of dude that you weak to pussy, like you see this stupid screen right here of this dude leaving a post on this bimbo, is probably a fake account talking about I would kick my mom in the head while she was asleep if it meant I could eat that thing. You want to put your mouth on these STD infested bacteria laced fucking bimbos vaginas, that's on you. But if you're gonna be that way, okay, you're a grown-ass man. You have the right to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Here's my problem. Here's my issue, okay? Do not come to me telling me that you are a red pillar, that you are a MGTOW. Do not tell a audience that you are a MGTOW or a red pillar if you cannot stay away from females. Okay? If you paying females for their company, okay? If you're paying for pussy, if you're on their fucking live streams, if you're allowing known feminists and known swirlers to come onto your fucking live streams, don't come to me and lie to me like you're something that you're not. Okay? Be what the fuck you are. You know, I give Tommy that. He never, I don't recall hearing Tommy ever calling himself a MGTOW or a red pillar. Tommy is Tommy. Okay? Tommy likes pussy. Tommy pays for pussy. It is what it is. I don't agree with how he, you know, runs his life, but at the end of the day, it's his life. My issue is with niggas that are, you know, they're pretending to be red pillars when they know goddamn well that they're simps. Okay, and some of them are outright Captain Save hoes. This is a problem. Okay, this is a fucking problem. All right, because what happens is you have brothers like me who mistakenly I ally myself with these black men, and the next thing I know, I find myself on a panel with some whore that, you know, was talking shit about black men in one of her videos, or she's pretending to be on black men's side when she's no less psychologically warped than the rest of these bimbos. You know, I find myself on a chat panel with this female, you know, by being on this brother's show because he's weak to pussy. Okay, this brother, this is the same brother that I showed him that Afro Latina, what was her name? What was her name? Olivia Alexa, when she was trying to con the Black MGTOW movement and they wasn't buying it, and they was leaving comments in her comment section letting her know that they was on her bullshit. And then she came back the very next video talking pro-feminist talking points because she was mad and butthurt that her looks with all that fake up and weave that she was wearing didn't work. Okay. And this brother couldn't figure out in the first video that I showed him when she was trying to appeal to the dicks of black MGTOW brothers. He couldn't figure out what was wrong. Why I was so against her. He couldn't figure it out. He actually asked me. He asked me, you know, what is your problem with her? I don't understand it. It sounds like what she's saying is true. You know, and that right there was another warning sign. So look, this is another thing that we're going to emphasize tonight. Single black men that are in the MGTOW movement. Another thing I've learned is not only do we have to separate ourselves from the simps and the degenerates, we also have to separate ourselves from black men who pretend to be something that they are not, which is on our side. Okay? When you see the way these niggas are on these females panels, and see that's exactly the tactic, that's the strategy that these women wanted. Okay, that's why about 6 months ago, y'all remember, black women, they started making videos. It's kind of died down now, but a lot of black women started making videos about why they love black men and, you know, how they would only be with a black man. What's her name? Paris Milan. She came out of that crowd, that trendy crowd, right around like late 2017, like early to mid 2018. You saw that, and that identified the fake black MGTOWs and fake red pill brothers. Okay, because it pulled them like a fucking magnet. First, these fake MGTOWs and fake red pillars allowed black women onto their shit, and then the next thing you know, the black women pull these Negroes out of the so-called black manosphere onto their shit. Now they got these niggas wrapped around their little pinky finger like a damn red Christmas ribbon. It's fucking pathetic. Okay? So we have to separate ourselves once again, not only from the degenerate, pants sagging, you know, thug nigga, we also have to separate ourselves from men that are posing as Marlboro men. Okay? So I just want to emphasize that. Okay, so we're gonna move on here. And this is another thing this right here. Now, Cynthia G did a live stream. I believe that was yesterday. I put up a community post alerting you brothers, and I just came across this live stream completely at random. And this hoe, the same hoe that was caught getting impregnated by a beta male coon, the epitome of a beta male coon, a nigga named Robert Perkins with 5 kids. She had the unmitigated gall to have this live stream talking about the psychology of the educated lame. Okay. And apparently she was in an argument with this black dude on her live stream that claimed to have a MA business degree or something like that. And he was complaining what a lot of, you know, high strung, educated black brothers, you know, what's considered the good or the nice guy type black men will complain about, that haven't come to their senses about these hoes, about how black women will choose the Pookie and Ray Ray over, you know, what they say the hood rats call the educated lane. And so Cynthia G goes into this whole spiel, and this whole actually works herself into a lather where compares that what's considered the educated lame, meaning black men who have good jobs, they have degrees, you know, some of them run their own businesses. She tried to connect, put the educated lame in the same basket with the Pookie and Ray Ray. And the way she rationalized this is that because the educated lame black men, most black men that are educated, you know, and handling their business, they don't run global corporations like white men. That they're in the same basket as Pookies and Ray Rays, niggas who can't even fill out a job application to get a burger flipping job at McDonald's. She would put somebody like that in the same basket with a man who went out, got an MA, got a BA, could be a doctor, a lawyer, you know, run his own firm. She would put that person in the same basket as a Pookie and Ray Ray. And see, Akwasi brung this up not too long ago, how disingenuous black women are. She knows the stuff that she's talking is shit, but she keeps talking it. She keeps talking it, okay? Because she knows that she's frustrating black men that are still stupid enough to want to sniff her nasty ass snatch, number one. And number two, she keeps doing it to show her disdain for black masculinity, okay? A lot of these black females, Cynthia G included, they hate black men, but they still want black dick. And Cynthia G is a prime example of this. Any female or male or alien, space alien for that matter, that would be fucking stupid enough, would be dumb enough to say that a so-called educated lame, a black man who has, you know, a degree in higher education, running his own business, has a profession, is on the same level as a Pookie and Ray Ray, because a majority of black men do not have a global, do not run a global corporation, even though you do have black male CEOs. That just shows you where their loyalties lie right there, which makes it even sadder that you have so many of these brothers in the so-called black manosphere that have been compromised like motherfuckers, going on the live streams of these hoes, wasting their time trying to debate these bimbos. Okay? Because that's what they think of you. No matter what, you know, in just a couple of weeks ago, Cynthia G and Nyla says they double teamed up on this brother that was stupid enough to come on their on Cynthia G's live stream, and he was trying to explain the whole matriarchal system and how it was put in place by the white slave master, you know, during the times of slavery, and that's how it's devolved into what we see today. And both Nyla Sands and Cynthia G knew what this dude was saying was right. That's why they were stuttering over their fucking words. And Cynthia G started off with her usual fraudulent spiel. See, here's the thing. Whenever Cynthia G says, "Here's the thing," you know something fraudulent is about to come out that heifer's mouth. Okay, and so they basically just ran circles around this nigga, beating around the bush, you know, flipping the script, acting like he was speaking a foreign language. This is why you should not find yourself in live streams with these hoes, wasting time with these hoes. That's why I say specifically, my live streams will always be black male and black male only, and only like-minded brothers, and not only like-minded brothers, proven like-minded brothers. I'm not going to be ambushed like I was when I went on JPV's live stream. Not that it was his fault, but I went on his live stream and ran into that fucking fool Benzo. You know, I don't know, there's a pussy worshiping black idiot fucking bozo the clown ass nigga on one of these damn live streams. Okay, only like-minded black brothers are coming on my shit. Okay, and that's my word. Now, moving on from that. Okay, speaking of this issue of black men bickering and arguing, not only with black women, but with one another, acting like a bunch of fucking 5-year-olds on these live streams of these females, thinking that they're impressing each other, like certain YouTubers have told y'all in video after video. Um, I saw this article, this heartbreaking issue surrounding what happened to this young brother, Nipsey Hussle, out in LA. And they're talking about his memorial service. And there have been rumors that tickets were going to be sold for his memorial service to be at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, the same place they had Michael Jackson's memorial service. I think that was 10 years ago. But they were saying that the family is debating those claims, saying that, it's probably going to be a free event no matter where they hold it. They're not sure, but they do know it's going to be in LA. But just on it, just on the backdrop of this whole thing that happened to Nipsey Hussle, this is an example of why black men do not A, have time to be arguing with these bimbos, do not B, have time to be arguing with each other. It is clear and obvious from, that shooting that happened over that handicap parking space with that thought bot in Florida, of that little white nerd ass motherfucker shooting that black guy to death last year, to this young Caribbean black brother that was shot and killed in Dallas, Texas by this white female cop, to what happened to Nipsey Hussle, gunned down in front of his own store, a store that he used to employ people from his own neighborhood. Okay? It's obvious that black men have enough fucking enemies. Okay? We don't have time to be bickering and arguing with these bitches. We don't have time to be bickering and arguing with one another. We don't have time to, be trying to stare down these socially inept, degenerate savages. Okay? We have to link up together, okay, as like-minded intellectuals, and do whatever the fuck we're going to do, or we have to go lone wolf and do whatever the fuck we have to do. Okay, we have enough enemies. We don't need any more. What was Tina Turner's title of that song? We don't need another hero. We don't need another fucking fool. We just don't. We don't need no more idiots. Okay, we don't need any more idiots in our circle. Okay. In the year 2019, you as a black man have to know where you fucking stand. And more importantly, and poor Nipsey Hussle didn't understand this. This brother didn't understand this. I know he did a lot of wrong. He was gang banging, a member of the Rolling 60s in his 20s. But going into his 30s, he seemed like he was growing out of that, and he was seeing the bigger picture. And a lot of us, I told you guys, I was a grade A simp back, a few years ago. If you had to listen to me 5 years ago and listen to me now, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Okay. But some brothers grow out of that. And I do believe that Nipsey Hussle was one of those brothers that was growing out of that. He was seeing the bigger picture of things. He was seeing what's wrong in the black neighborhood. I'm pretty sure he saw the issue with these low-hanging fruit ass fucking foreigners in black neighborhoods, dividing and conquering, and he was trying to bring about some change in his own neighborhood. And his thanks was a bullet, several bullets to the head and chest by one of his own brothers. Okay, over some peddling ass, some cheap ass, fucking petty ass argument that amounted to nothing. Certainly not nobody's fucking life. Okay, but what mistake did Nipsey Hussle make? The same mistake that I'm telling you, brothers, that we can't make. Okay, like I said, we have to know not only where we stand, more importantly, we have to know where other brothers around us stand, because there are a lot of snakes in sheep's skin. You got to understand that in the year 2019, there are a lot of snakes in sheep's fucking skin. Okay, now Nipsey Hussle, he understood the streets, he understood the game, but he didn't understand this concept. If he did, he wouldn't have had his store or himself anywhere around that particular area where he was. He would have realized that him, as a brother that had made it, so to speak, nominated for a Grammy, a net worth of $8 million, opening up businesses everywhere, employing, and educating kids, he would have realized that he out like Ice Cube and Ice T and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and a lot of them niggas that get out the hood. He would have realized, man, I've outgrown this stupid shit. Okay, it's time for me to move on. Yes, I can still help my people, but I gotta help them from a distance, my nigga. I can't be, stuck here in the epicenter of this fucking hellhole, because it can still swallow me fucking whole. Because there's a lot of niggas, they don't, because they were raised by these baby mama thought bots, they hate just like their baby mamas and their female equivalents. They hate to see a black man when he finally becomes a man. Okay, they hate that shit. All right, that's why that goofball ass Negro that's on here on YouTube now, Willie D, he made that stupid ass music video called the Real Coons or something like that. Y'all remember a few years ago he was calling out Charles Barkley and some other niggas because they had conservative thinking points about the black situation. So Nipsey Hussle, I didn't know much about this brother until after what happened to him, but it's a great loss. But more so than that, it should be an example to you black men as to why you cannot associate yourself with every motherfucker that you see. Because there's a lot of phony, fake ass niggas out here. There's a lot of hateful, jealous ass niggas out here. There's a lot of effeminate, down low suspect ass niggas out here. Okay. And there's a lot of undercover niggas out here. Okay. They're moles, they're plants. Okay. That are for the other side. And you won't find that out until it's too late in some cases, unfortunately, like Nipsey Hussle. So yeah, guys, make sure that you know where your loyalties lie and where the loyalties of your fellow brother lie as well. Because if you don't, you could wind up like Nipsey Hussle, or something to a lesser degree that could wind up destroying your life. And let's keep in mind that why everybody, the whole world knows Nipsey Hussle's name now. Okay, it's funny how Negroes particularly, they respect the dead more than they respect the living. Like I said about Aaliyah, her fucking entitled album, Aaliyah, the last one that she released before she died in that plane crash, was number 16 on the Billboard charts before she died. Okay, then after she died, that shit shot to number 1 on the Billboard charts and stayed at number 1 for 3 fucking weeks. Nipsey Hussle, think about this for a second. How many people were saying his name? How many people talked about Nipsey Hussle frequently? How many people acknowledged the good that he was trying to do in his neighborhood with the kids and the overall black community before he died? Versus match that with how many people knew about him after he died. Okay, we relish in and we acknowledge the dead too much, more than we acknowledge the living. Okay, that's another thing that we need to get out of. All right, don't come to me at my fucking funeral when I'm dead and gone and I can't appreciate it. I can't reap no fucking benefits off of it. Don't come to me when I'm dead and being put into the fucking ground and then want to tell me how much you respected me, how much you loved me, coming kissing my fucking dead body, laying in a fucking coffin, putting flowers in my grave. No, just put my dead ass in the ground and throw dirt over me. Motherfucker, if you didn't respect me when I was alive, don't pretend like you respect me now that I'm dead. I hate when motherfuckers do that. Everybody, but especially black people. It's even people on Facebook saying that shit. My parents agree. You want to respect somebody when they dead and gone, you didn't hardly notice them, or you was talking all kinds of shit about them behind their back, making their life a living hell, and then all of a sudden they dead. Oh man, so and so, man, he was good. He or she was an angel, They never heard of fly. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. Because that's just another phony ass. It's just another phony ass front, in black society, in the black psyche that we come up with to try to mask the fact that we don't have our shit together. That's why we would rather respect people that are fucking dead than people that are fucking alive. It's easy to respect somebody when they fucking dead and they ain't got, they can't do nothing. Okay, you was hating on them all that other time and not doing shit to help them, but now all of a sudden they dead. Or now all of a sudden, yeah, you care. Don't talk about the dead, man. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. But anyway, I'm done ranting on that. Okay, so just a couple more things before we get to the second hour, guys. Okay. First of all, I want to thank Roger Spice, Ken A to Draw, any of my other moderators that I didn't mention that are here tonight. I'm sure you will be keeping a close eye on the chat room. Roger Spice, thank you so much for putting my links out there. You're always a helpful brother. I appreciate that. um you brothers, please email me, or I'm gonna try to email you after this live stream, because as you know, and as I was trying to say at the beginning of this live stream, there has been a tidal wave of troll tards, as many of you are aware, that have been coming into my videos that aren't live streams in the last couple of weeks. And what's happening is the traffic is increasing on my channel. You know, I've gone from, you know, like just a little over 2,000 subscribers to 2,700 subscribers, just in a matter of a couple of months. And whenever my traffic blows up, the troll level goes up. And you know, it's equivalent to, you know, a bunch of refugees or immigrants coming over from somewhere else. They're going to bring their diseases and their germs with them. So with this increased traffic of people that just want to watch my videos and people that, you know, support my videos, there's going to be also a stream, you know, a virus and bacteria group that comes in with that traffic. Okay, it's just nature. Okay, in different forms. You know, you go to a different country, or a different country comes to you, and it's not just going to bring the good, it's going to bring the bad and the ugly. So what I need to do is I need to make some of you brothers, and Roger Spice, Ken A to Draw, you guys for sure, I'm not only going to make you moderators on my chat forums, I'm also going to make you guys moderators on my videos. Okay. I didn't know that was a completely separate function. But guys, please remind me after this live stream to make you guys moderators, because I really don't have time between running my business and trying to produce these blogs on Patreon, doing these live streams, doing research for videos, large and small projects. I don't have time to do what I've been doing for the last 3 fucking weeks, and going and cussing out, blocking and deleting all these fucking whores that are on my fucking my videos, you know, talking stupid shit. You know, me just alone by myself, it's just been a tidal wave. One day last week I spent like 3 fucking hours just booting trolls off my shit. You know, I mean, they just sticking to me like fucking termites on a damn rusted ass ceiling that's about to fall through in on itself. You know, I don't have time for that shit. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna start having a little police force to moderate not just my chat room, but also my videos. So anybody that's a like-minded supporter, that you've been with me for a long time, please email me at briansolange2@gmail.com if you don't already have my email. Also, one other thing in relation to that, with trolls come haters. With haters come flaggers. Okay? You know, especially these black females. Most of the trolls are black females, as y'all call them. They're not gonna leave me alone. I've already assessed that, you know, because these black females, they hate us. They hate that the fact that we're woke black brothers. They hate the fact that we're black men, period. But they still desire our attention. Some of them still desire our dick. So like Madam Logic Bomb was on my shit trolling yesterday. I had to block her, along with that big basketball forehead female that I think is on medication, Penny Proud. She was on my shit yesterday. I had to block both of them. Okay. And these females, they're gonna fuck with us either in either one of a couple of ways. Either they're gonna come on my shit trolling, or they're gonna send one of their simps, or they're gonna try to flag my fucking videos. In the last month, I've had 2 videos fucked with by YouTube thanks to these haters flagging shit. One, my Aaliyah video that I re-uploaded on BitChute and Black Avenger. That video was restricted to the point where you can't like it, you can't share it, you can't see the amount of views, you can't comment on it. And the other one, as I told you guys already, the video about this is what 40 years of black women trying to rear Black Boys in the Manhood Looks Like, that video was removed. They said that video violated their hate speech community guidelines, even though all I did was download a fucking bunch of videos of a socially inept degenerate off of Facebook and just put a collage together with the title, that this is what 40 years of black women trying to raise black boys into manhood look like. I didn't even give no commentary in that shit, and they still removed my shit. So it's obvious, like I said, when I was talking about Nipsey Hussle, black men, it's obvious that we have enemies. So we don't have time to be bickering and arguing with each other. But on that note, I just want to let you guys know exactly what's going to happen, okay? Because it's only a matter of time before another one of my videos gets removed. And every time you get a video removed, okay, YouTube puts a strike against your account. So the next time one of my videos is fucking removed, okay, I'm going to temporarily shut this channel down, and I'm going to have one video that's going to come up letting you guys know where to see the rest of my content. Now, I know my traffic is going to fall exponentially, but if that's what it has to take to get that strike to expire and to continue to enforce and fight for my rights to freedom of speech and expression, then that's what it has to take. I'm going to put up a video with a link to this alternate channel that you're looking at right here with the 501 subscribers. It's my second in command, my lieutenant, Brian Solange with the orange avatar. Okay, I'm going to ask first of all that everybody in the live stream, please go sub to this channel right now, starting off. Please, Roger Spice, if you could, please put this specific link in the chat room, if you could, for my alternative channel. For those of you who are not signed up to me on my alternate channel with the same name, Brian Solange, with the 501 subscribers, just type in my name, Brian Solange, okay, right now, and sign up over there right now, if you would, because that's where I'm going to start putting my content when they start fucking with me over here again. Okay? Because I'm not even about to play games with these motherfuckers. All right? They're not going to silence me. They're not going to get me to flip out and change like a chameleon, like O'Shea Duke Jackson did, and become a grade A simp kissing these hoes funky asses. I'm going to keep talking the shit that I want to talk, how I want to talk it, when I want to talk it, where I want to fucking talk it. And ain't no fucking body from YouTube to Google to the FBI to ABC 123 Assalamu Alaikum gonna stop a motherfucking thing that Brian Solange does. Because I do what I do, man. You understand? I talk a mile a fucking minute, and I'm gonna keep talking a mile a fucking minute about these nasty assholes and anything else I want to talk about. And ain't nobody gonna do a goddamn thing about it. You understand that? Now, so yeah, guys, if you're not subbed over there on my alternative channel, please go over there right now and sub. It's as easy as 123. Just type my name in the YouTube search engine, and my alternative channel, which should be right below my main channel, should come right up. So let me refresh, see if any of you motherfuckers paying attention. Let me just see, because I've been talking. Okay, we got 2 new subs. Thank you, those of you who are the 2 new subs. Okay, so the final thing I want to get to, this is the final thing I want to get to before we move into the second hour of this stream, where we are going to bring some brothers on to the panel. Okay, and we are going to talk about the title of this video, Black Men and Single Life, Analyzing What Life is Really Like for a Marlboro Man Brother. This whole issue with this black female lesbian mayor of Chicago, as you can see, kissing her white wife, and they have an adopted child, which I can almost guarantee is a white child. Now, a lot of you brothers, you pushed a lot of traffic to that video. You left a lot of comments. I didn't expect that video to get as much attention as it did. That was one of the spur of the moment, last minute videos I did when I was still out on business in Indianapolis last week, and I figured, well, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and do this video, get it out the way, because some brothers asked me to do it. I did not know that you brothers, that this topic was weighing on you guys' minds so heavily. But when I really think about it, it didn't occur to me the gravity of the situation with this now mayor elect of Chicago. It didn't occur to me the gravity until I read this article. Now, if y'all recall in that video that I did um a couple of days ago, like 3-4 days ago, I said that this this openly gay lesbian who is also a swirler because she has a white wife that has a haircut like a dude. Okay, she 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 purposefully, okay, um put this out here to kiss her white wife after she won the election. She purposely did that in front of the cameras. And a lot of you brothers were saying that she's going to be pushing for the LGBTQ community more than she is for the black neighborhoods. As a matter of fact, as the indications of that is when she was running for mayor against Tony Preckwinkle, another swirler, only heterosexual because she has a white husband, from what I understand. She said that the same things that black people are going through in their neighborhoods with police brutality and racial profiling is the same thing that gay people go through, every day with discrimination against them. It's interesting to me that this female who's a former prosecutor like Kamala Harris, she first identifies with being a swirling lesbian gay person before she identifies with being a black woman. That is particularly interesting to me. What is more interesting to me is this. Let me read you guys this word for word, and then we're going to get this party started. But I got to read you guys the CNN article. It was written by John Blake, who I guess is a half-breed black guy. But CNN has a lot of homosexual black men working for him, so it wouldn't surprise me if the guy who wrote this article was gay himself. But remember how I told you guys how because some of y'all were saying, well, it was probably white liberals that that put her in office. Yeah, white liberals did vote for her, but I told you guys a majority of her vote was carried by black women. Not only black women, single black women, church going black women. So hold on, guys. Let me roll these windows up. I'm sitting next to my window and the rain is pouring down here. Give me 1 second to roll my fucking window up, and then I'm going to read you guys this article right quick. Okay, so reading this article. Lori Lightfoot did something during her victory party last week that once would have been considered obscene. As Chicago's beaming mayor-elect stood at a podium, she turned toward her wife, Amy Eshelman, and kissed her in full view of a room full of jubilant supporters while photographers snapped away. The images of that moment look like a sneak preview of a new America breaking through. A black gay woman kissing her white wife before a mini rainbow coalition of onlookers. And nobody raised an eyebrow. But focus on just the black supporters in that room, and another image emerges. The black vote, especially members of black churches who mobilized on her behalf, was crucial in Lightfoot's victory. Let me read that again. But focus on the black vote, especially members of black churches. You hear what this dude is saying? They've run the numbers. So they're saying the black vote, especially members, and we know black female members of black churches who mobilized on her behalf, was crucial to Lightfoot's victory. Okay? What if Lightfoot had been standing in the pulpit of one of those black churches when she kissed her wife? In probably 90% of black churches, she would be put out or asked to leave, says the Reverend Martha Simmons, a scholar on black preaching and a consultant to an upcoming PBS special on the black church. There's a cruel irony in Lightfoot's election that few, if any, are talking about. Many of the same black voters who asked her to lead their city wouldn't dare ask her to lead their own churches because she is a gay woman. Women and LGBTQ members are still treated like second-class citizens in many black churches across America. Two of the nation's largest black church groups still do not officially accept women clergy or bishops. And while largely white denominations like the United Church of Christ and Episcopal Church and the Presbyterian Church affirm gays and lesbians, most black churches in America still have a don't ask, don't tell policy that forces its LGBTQ members to live in the closet or be consumed by self loathing. Yet Lightfoot was able to get many of the same churchgoers, including many who declare that God didn't make Adam and Steve, to vote for her. She won the key endorsement of a black gospel recording mogul reared in a church that considers homosexuality a sin. She converted skeptics while campaigning at black churches. They let this gay black swirler that you already know hates black fucking men into their churches to campaign. But because she had a black face, oh, it's A-okay. And because she was a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman at that, she got the dark-skinned black baby mama bimbos that are breaking every command, every one of the 10 commandments in the Holy Bible. She got their fucking votes. Okay? One of the city's most prominent black pastors said she couldn't have won without the strong support of Chicago's black church community. My God. Wow. Her victory is bigger than Chicago or politics. How did she do it? The answer to that question can be found in a peculiar way of thinking in the black community that is at once beautiful and terrible. Now, keep in mind, this is a pro-homosexual person that wrote this, but it really lets you know where we stand as black people. So I'm gonna read this all the way through. What the terrible looks like. Ask many gifted, ambitious women who attend traditional black churches, and they can tell you about something terrible. Black women are the heart and muscle of the black church. More than 2/3 of a typical black congregation are women. But click on the websites for groups like the National Baptist Convention USA Inc. or the Church of God in Christ Inc., and you'll see that virtually all their leaders are solemn looking black men staring intently at the camera. The pictures look as out of date as at those those black and white photos of all white NBA teams from the 1950s. Ask these black church groups about their attitude toward women and LGBTQ people, and you'll hear everything except a full-throated affirmation of both groups as equals. The National Baptist Convention won't come out and officially say women cannot be ordained as pastors. Instead, its website says it does not offer specific support for female ministers at this time. The Church of God in Christ is more straightforward. It does not allow women to become senior pastors or bishops, though it accepts some as evangelists. Same things. Both church groups cite a battery of scriptures to defend their treatment of women and their stance that homosexuality is a sin. That's another cruel irony. Both employ a literal reading of the Bible to justify exclusion, even though that same approach was used to justify the enslavement of their ancestors with scriptures like slaves, obey your earthly masters. Some of these men are threatened by barrier-breaking women, leaders like Lightfoot that says Simmons. Don't talk to them about changing times or the changing faces of politics. Now, remember now, this Simmons lady is supposed to be an evangelist, raised in the black church. And she's talking about black men are just jealous that black women are winning. Essentially, that's what they're saying. Gay black women who swirl with white women, by the way. 2/3 of the black church are black women. And the black church was pivotal in this woman winning. I told you guys, the population of Chicago, for those who haven't lived in Chicago, is split right down the middle. You have black people on the south side and you have white people on the north side. Yes, a lot of white liberals voted for this woman, but I'm telling you, they're a lot more likely that the white people voted for that Terry Preckwinkle, that lighter skinned bimbo that's married to the white guy, than they did this Lori Lightfoot bimbo that's married to the white woman. Okay? It was black women who put this woman in fucking office. But I'm gonna keep reading. They think now this is the black female evangelist that was raised in the black church, right? Listen to this hoe. They think, why would I believe that women's roles have changed when it doesn't serve me? Why would I believe that, especially given how many women are in seminary? There are now more women in seminary than men, says Simmons. Do you really believe that men are going to help women get jobs that only men were once able to get? Now, this is a female that's supposed to be preaching to a congregation about what it says in the Bible, okay? Where it even emphasizes that women are supposed to obey their husbands. And she's sitting up here talking all this pro feminist crap. And y'all wonder why I abandoned those Christian beliefs that I was raised to believe a long fucking time ago. You wonder why I don't waste my time arguing with these religious fucking zealots, these fucking hypocrites. The people, they are a walking blasphemy of the very fucking holy Bible that they claim to fucking believe in and preach. They don't even believe that shit themselves. And then, so keep reading here. And then there's another terrible tradition in the black church that I saw firsthand. The many LGBTQ members who were humiliated by their congregations. I once attended a black Baptist church where the senior pastor wouldn't allow women to preach and taught that homosexuality was a sin. There was one catch. His right-hand man was gay. Y'all take a listen to this. This is how mixed pickle niggas are. And I, to a lesser extent, some other brothers on here to a larger extent, have been telling y'all about these black churches and how hypocritical and how sinful and how law breaking of God's commandments that they claim to believe in are for years. But check this shit out. I once attended a black Baptist church where the senior pastor wouldn't allow women to preach and taught that homosexuality was a sin. There was one catch. His right-hand man was gay, and virtually everybody in the church seemed to know it. This man was a pillar in the church. He was one of the unsung heroes who make a church function, attending dull late-night meetings because somebody has to, bringing meals to shut-ins, arranging the pastor's schedule. I can't think of a moment when he didn't have a smile on his face. He was killed, though, by a young man he'd invited into his home. Oh, he was trying to get one of them little young thugs' booties, and the young thug must have robbed and killed him. Said, I thought the grief would break the unspoken agreement in the church to never talk about his sexuality. But when I asked a buddy of mine who attended his funeral if they had finally talked openly about who he was, he reacted with scorn. Of course not. It was completely whitewashed, he said. Some speakers even pretended that he liked women. As to why so many black churches are like this, the answers could fill a book. Here's one from the Reverend Otis Moss III, senior pastor of one of the largest predominantly black congregations in Chicago. He points to how often blacks have been told by America they aren't welcome. Those who have been traumatized pass on their trauma, and for some it makes them feel powerful to hold power over someone, he says. Those who have been held back are able to say to another, you are not fully human. Lightfoot, though somehow marched into the black subculture of trauma, repression, and contradictions, and convinced enough black churchgoers to vote for her. And she made a believer out of the skeptics because of another tradition in the black church that isn't terrible. It's beautiful. Now let me translate that. Okay. These niggas are in here, they booty busting each other. They, half the women in the church are hoeing. More than half the women in the church are hoeing or former hoes. Okay. But continuing the tradition of black America of saving face, they pretend to be these saints, following the 10 commandments of the Bible like they're one of the 12 disciples of Christ. But behind closed doors, in reality, everybody knows this, not just in the black church, anybody outside of the black church. Okay? Everybody knows that they are breaking every commandment of these 10 commandments that they can claim God wrote and sent to Moses before he parted the Red Sea and freed the Israelites from the slave chains of bondage against the Pharaoh and the Egyptians and all that crap. They are breaking every one of God's fucking commandments. but they're pretending like they're against homosexuality. Yet they put an openly gay black woman who wouldn't touch the south side of Chicago with her pinky toe. They put her in office. They elected her. You have a preacher that is speaking out against homosexuality, yet his right hand man, the man who organizes his schedule, is a homosexual. There's so much fucking corruption in the black church, and this is one of the reasons why black America is so fucking dysfunctional. Because the very institutions that we have looked toward, these historically black colleges, these black churches, the institutions that we have looked to for strength, and influence and leadership are just as corrupt as the hoochie mama and thugging bullshit that's going on out on the streets and in social media. This is why black people, I don't understand these pro-blacks talking about a race war. I said this in a video. Half the niggas in America are going to be fighting for white folks. It's going to be niggas on the front line fighting for white folks against other black folks. So who's going to be on the race war on our side? These pants sagging ass thugs that barely know how to tie their shoelaces? Are you serious? Or these homosexuals? Who's going to be on the front lines for us? It's only a handful of us brothers that are actually woke. We can't do it by ourselves. So who's going to be in the race war? Half these niggas want to swirl. So they're going to be on the white people's side. Niggas are so ass backwards, it's unbelievable, man. They face might as well be the back of their fucking head. Anyway, let me keep reading. What the beautiful looks like. Moss, pastor of Trinity United Church of Christ, knows about his side of the black church, and he points to how it operates in politics. His father was a close aide to the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., an adulterer and a womanizer that was cheating on his wife and full of STDs, but that's a subject for another live stream. Former President Barack Obama used to attend Trinity, and the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, whose fiery sermons almost derailed Obama's first presidential bid, led the church for over 30 years. Moss says there is a tradition of pragmatism in the black church in which congregants ultimately care more about a leader who can deliver than one who can quote doctrine. He tells the story of a politician who tried to answer questions about his sexual orientation before a black church elder cut him off. "Child, I could care less who you date," the elder told him. "I just want to know what your policy is going to be." This vein of pragmatism is what Lightfoot tapped into. Moss says he was impressed with how Lightfoot showed up in so many black churches and took on every question. He says she couldn't have won without strong support from the black church. Lightfoot ran as an outsider. She wasn't part of the political machine in Chicago that many blacks distrusted. Oh, fucking please. They put Rahm Emanuel in there. They put Richard M. Daley in there multiple times. What are you talking about distrusted? All these Negroes do is vote 90% for Democrats. Quit lying. They didn't distrust shit. They just wanted to go along with all this hashtag Me Too feminist extremist bullshit and put some. Let me calm myself down because I'm gonna wind up fucking up. Is this YouTube? I'm getting too worked up. They just wanted to see a black bimbo in office. That's what they wanted. Off the backdrop of Hillary Clinton losing the election in 2016, this was white liberal females retaliation for that, and this was black females retaliation, against the overall black, well, not just black but male led society that we have. They just want to see a black bimbo in there. They didn't care if she was gay, a swirler, or not. This woman ain't even a Christian. She don't even have a black husband. She don't even have a black female partner. She's a swirler. A gay swirler, but she had dark skin. She had the right party, so they put her ass in office. Black people don't distrust shit when it comes to the Democrats. They love, and like I told y'all in that last live stream that I did, the second to last live stream about how slavery was a convenience. Kanye West is a moron, but whoever told him to say that, pulling his puppet strings, was right. Slavery was a choice. It was a choice for these Negroes. And it's still a choice today. The hell out of here. Talking about they distrust. Don't get me started with that shit. And this is what I was talking about right here, guys. It says a former federal prosecutor, she capitalized on the outrage sparked by a white police officer's fatal shooting of Laquan McDonald, a black teenager, to launch her campaign as a reformer. Racism is a great equalizer, Moss says. Regardless of your sexual orientation, we are still hit by the same political machine that attempts to marginalize people of color. And let me just say this, and some of you brothers have brought this up. Black people are a fucking fool to try to compare the black situation, the black struggle, with the gay struggle. But I'm not even gonna waste time going into that. If you don't understand that, then you know, figure it out, because that's just stupid. LGBTQ does not give a fuck about what's going on in Black America. All they care about, LGBTQ is just like the Jews. They only care about themselves. Okay. And they have a right to only care about themselves. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. Okay. Point blank, period. Black people so quick to want to join everybody else's organization, thinking, oh well, if we buddy buddy with them, then they're gonna, they're gonna be buddy buddy with what we're trying to get done. No, 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 no. They're just gonna use your ass as a puppet, like that whole what's her name, Candace Owens. They're just gonna use your ass as a puppet, and when they get done, they're gonna ball you up, throw you in the trash. Anyway, what is it? A crucial moment for Lightfoot came when she gained the endorsement of one of the most well-known figures in Chicago's black church community. Willie Wilson is a prominent businessman and gospel music impresario with a following among older black churchgoers in Chicago. He placed fourth in the mayoral primary, winning the highest percentage of black votes. Wilson is also the devout product of a socially conservative black church that teaches homosexuality is a sin, according to a Chicago Sun-Times story. But he threw his support behind Lightfoot even as others sought his endorsement. Wilson echoed the church elder from Moss' story. Lightfoot's policy positions were ultimately more important than her piety. He said her sexual orientation wasn't a primary concern for him. This things this things about working with me and should be about economic and social issues. It should not go outside of that, he said in Chicago Tribune story. Now here's the sticky part. Some say that the pragmatism of many black churches is really just a fancy word for hypocrisy. How, for example, are black churchgoers' voting habits any different than those of white evangelicals who support Trump and oppose gay rights? Moss doesn't see it that way. He has another term to describe the difference between what black churchgoers profess and what they practice. He calls it a beautiful contradiction. Black churchgoers can embrace a doctrine that excludes a group of people but jettison those scriptures once they get to know and love such a person. He recalls a story he heard from another black pastor. The man had conducted the funeral for a person in his congregation who was transgender. A deacon stood up during the service and said he couldn't abide by the ceremony because the person they were saying goodbye to dressed as a woman. Then another group of deacons stood up and talked about how the same person had been a force in the church who had done so much to help people. She will be buried with full honors. My God, they're calling a transgender a she. She will be buried with full honors, one deacon said before sitting down. Relationships take precedence over doctrine in many black churches. I'll say that's why the pastor is fucking half the grandmothers in the fucking place. But again, that's a subject for another video. When you and half the men, let me stop. Let me finish the article, because if I don't, I'm gonna be on this all day. Y'all know I run my mouth and sometimes I get carried away. When you have a relationship with someone, you see the sacredness of God flowing through them. A doctrine that's been stuck in the back of your head, Moss says. What niggas call relationships is just baffling to me. But anyway, Jonathan Walton, a professor of religion and society at Harvard Divinity School, amplified Moss' point. He says it's simplistic to say most black churches are homophobic and anti-woman. He says those black churches vote for Lightfoot that voted for Lightfoot weren't defying black church tradition. Some were acting within it. Quote, are we really changing when we go into the voting booth, or are we just as pragmatic in our religious spaces? Walton says. Do I wish that we would actually challenge homophobia, sexism? Absolutely. But do I think black churches are just bastions of homophobia and sexism? No, not quite. Still, what about the gifted women who will never be able to preach or become bishops? What about the members of the LGBTQ community who cannot be recognized for their full humanity, like the aide to the pastor who was gay? I tell Walton about the aide, and he says that even that story has some hope in it. Quote, it it's what's beautiful and terrible at the same time about our community, he says. It's beautiful. And see, this is another, let me bring something else up. This is another really big problem. This is the main problem. You have a lot of black men who can be classified as men who know better, that are siding with these down low black men, with these feminist black women, with these baby mamas, with these hoochie mamas, with these thought bots, with these thug degenerates preaching this victimology mentality, siding with these organizations, institutions, and movements, including hashtag Me Too, that are a detriment to black manhood, black masculinity, and the black community as a whole. Okay. There ain't no way in heaven or hell a black pastor who's probably in his 60s, 70s, or 80s should be siding with any of this shit. Okay. But it's like a certain brother on here said, they would rather, to keep those dollars coming in the form of tithes and offerings, and to keep them booties and them pussies open for business. They would rather, play the date, so to speak, with these motherfuckers, pretending like they support the agenda of, these gays and these single black females, than they would telling them the fucking truth, which is that they are out of fucking order. So you have a lot of black men that are contributing to this by turning the other cheek, or even outright endorsing this bull crap. Okay, moving on. Says oh yeah, I tell Walton about the aid, and he says that even that story has some hope in it. It's what's beautiful and terrible at the same time about our community. He says it's beautiful because the brother who everybody knew who was gay probably found life in that community and had authority in that space he probably wouldn't have anywhere else. What's terrible, though, is the conspiracy of silence around a certain aspect of his identity, and that people felt like they had to love him in spite of his sexual orientation. Why Lightfoot's victory is bigger than Chicago. Oh God, here we go. This beautiful contradiction, though, could be changing. Simmons, the PBS consultant, says a new generation of black churchgoers and pastors aren't preoccupied with issues of gender and sexual orientation. Too many of them, she says, are struggling to pay student loans and worrying about getting gunned down in the streets. Quote, they don't have time for this foolishness about who loves who, says Simmons, who hosts a live discussion every Monday on her Facebook page about black church issues. The young folks who look at all that and say, no, no, we out of here. We don't have time for this hypocrisy and for majoring in minor stuff while we continue to die, unquote. Lightfoot's election could be a sign of that change. Moss is confident the black church will eventually grow to fully affirm women and members of the LGBTQ community, as if we need any more dysfunction in black America. My goodness. He envisions a day, and the thing is, they already do allow black women in the pulpit and gays in church. Just because they don't say it on the surface, it's swept underneath the rug. That makes it somehow different. Let me keep reading. Get this almost over with, y'all. Let me finish this bullshit. Where was I? Oh yeah. Moss is confident that the black church will eventually grow to fully affirm women and members of the LGBTQ community. He envisions a day when Lightfoot or a politician like her could actually kiss her partner during a victory celebration in a traditional black church, and the cheers wouldn't stop. Quote, I look forward to it, he says. Some might think such a barrier breaking moment would be terrible, but for others, one word would describe such a moment. It would be beautiful. So, see, guys, this, and let me scroll back up. Let me just use this as a prime example. Okay. You have black, and this is what I mean. This is what I said earlier. This is what I meant when I said that black men have to understand where their loyalties lie and where black men who may look like them, who may hit talking points like them, but are completely different in heart, mind, and spirit than them. Loyalties lie. As Nipsey Hussle tragically found out, okay, you cannot have brothers around you who are wearing your same fucking uniform, but undercover, they're on the side of the enemy. Okay? You cannot have that because that is as dangerous as being too close to one of these black females or these socially inept black degenerates, okay? Or one of these white liberals. Understand that. If you have a undercover mole that's posing as your brother, that's posing as a like-minded intellectual, but he's actually secretly, undercover, he's caping for the other side, okay? He could bring you down with him. And that might be his goal from the jump street. I've spoken to brothers, both online and off, that, they had black men that they knew like that, you know, they would be at the meetings. They would be on the live streams. They would be on the panels, with the other brothers. Just like I was when I made the mistake of thinking that brother who I used to frequent his live stream, I thought that brother was on our side. But now I see he's not on our side. He's on the other side. Well, he's on his own side, but his side leans more to the left than it does to the right, meaning leans more to the side of the enemy than it does to the side of black manhood. Okay. I didn't realize that at first. Okay. Now, I first made this mistake with my ex fiance and girlfriend because she was hitting talking points about how she understood black men's plight. These black women are out of order. And then 2 years later, I realized she's the same as these bitches that I be talking about in these damn videos. So then I realized that I had to separate myself completely from black women. Okay. Because you can't trust any of them. I don't care what comes out of their mouth. I don't care how they dress. I don't care how educated they are. I don't care if they're religious. I don't care if they're atheists. You can't trust any of them because they will go any which way to win fucking blows. Okay? And it's the same thing with these niggas. I thought all black men who hit talking points like us, like me on a Quasi 100, I thought all of us were on the same page. But now I realize all of us are not on the same page. You get these niggas around females, some of these very same niggas calling themselves MGTOW and red pillars. You get them around females and they lose their fucking minds, acting like the very savages that we talk about. So with all of that out the way, guys, we're about to go into the second portion of this. Let me see how much time has elapsed. Oh, I can't tell. It's been wow, we've been on this motherfucker for 2 hours already. I can't believe that. But all right, guys, so we're gonna go into the second hour. We're gonna bring some brothers on to discuss the topic at hand: black men and single life, analyzing what life is really like for a Marlboro man. Okay, that is what is coming down the pipe. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for the first hour or the first 2 hours, and now we're going to go into the second hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my email out here. I know that Roger Spice probably already put it out here. Thank you, brother, for that. But I'm going to put my email out here for anybody who wants to join the live stream, and I'm going to send these brothers who have emailed me. I'm going to send them the Google Hangout link, and then we are going to get into this, guys. So we're going to take a brief music break, and then we're going to get this party started. So you guys stick around. We still got a lot more to come. Again, tonight's title, Black Men in Single Life, analyzing what life is really like for a Marlboro man. Okay? So yeah, you guys sit tight, and I will be right back for session 2.
Well, let's go. Can't have a lot of pictures, but I can show you.
body armor and all the paramilitary gear that goes along with that. So this was a highly planned and professional job. The problem is, of course, the LAPD arrived and has foiled their plan in so much as that they didn't get away with it so far. Now, the situation is still unfolding as we arrive. I'm listening to several different radios as we speak, and so far, that's the most current information I have for you, Kyle. Now, the situation is still... Okay. Move in a little closer if you can, Dean. Okay. It's okay. Come back this way. And you go straight out this way. Good. The other chopper left. Describe it to me. Okay, Dean, go around the other side of the building from the side. All the way around. Wait, so just around the other side. That's right, Kyle. We're receiving some more information now. We're trying. Yeah, they're around the other side of the building. Yes. We're coming around to it, I think, right now. That's as tight as we can get. We're coming around to it, I think, right now. Well, Kyle, we're trying to work our way around the other side of the bank now, where we understand the second officer is injured. We've just seen this white sedan pull up to the scene here. Now, this could be a rescue attempt. Also, one of the reasons we had to leave, Kyle, so quickly is that I was getting reports from our pilot that they were actually firing on us right now. Now, Dean, if we can circle back around again, we're losing it behind the tree. And yeah, circle around that way if you can. And we're going to keep an eye on these two right here. They were firing off in the direction of the police, which are that's as tight as we can get. Well, Kyle, we're trying to work our way around the other side of the bank now, where we understand the second officer is injured. We've just seen this white sedan pull up to the scene here. Now, this could be a rescue attempt, or we also were under the impression that the suspects. And here we go. We have LAPD right now. Okay, we have some gunfire right now going on. We just saw some puff of smoke coming out of the side of this white car, and we're exchanging gunfire in the parking lot as we speak. This is a suspect we're looking at right now. It looks like. If you can turn a little bit more, Dean, let me get a little bit better perspective on what's going on here. Yeah, we were under the impression that the white vehicle was the suspect vehicle, and we can see now that this person looks like they're going to be getting into this car or working on a second car also. But we have seen gunfire emitted from this car pointing out into the parking lot direction, and of course, very cavalier attitude right now. Walking around in the parking lot with their automatic weapons, brandishing their automatic weapons. This situation, we were also, one of the reasons we had to leave, Kyle, so quickly is that I was getting reports from our pilot that they were actually firing on us right now. Now, Dean, if we can circle back around again, we're losing it behind the tree. And yeah, circle around that way if you can. And we're going to keep an eye on these two right here. They were firing off in the direction of the police, which are, as you can see from this wider shot, they have the situation, well perimetered right now. But of course, now you have suspects that are acting we have suspects that are acting quite brand. Okay, we're following the suspect car right now. We've seen them exchange fire with police already on at least 2 occasions so far since we've been watching. And of course, from what we've been reporting earlier, there have been 2 suspects down. I mean, there are 2 police officers down already. They are opening fire. He's firing his weapon right now, Kyle, as he runs. You can see the shells ejecting from the side, the port of the rifle as he fires and tries to get away down the side of the street. Now we've lost him behind this garbage truck or disposal truck, and we're going to wait here and see what happens. This is obviously an accomplice here on this white vehicle here that we're seeing now drive quite erratically, possibly a wounded suspect at this point. And we're keeping an eye on this right now. Let me just take a quick look back over to the right as this situation unfolds. Dean, if you could go back around again one more time. Yeah, what it looked like, Kyle, is originally that this car pulled up to the side of the bank, maybe to try and pick up the other suspects. And there's a gray van that gray van actually is what we heard was being pursued earlier. I don't know if this is the same gray van, but it's unlikely that it would just come into this neighborhood like this. Now we have this vehicle taking off again. What we thought was going to happen was that this vehicle was going to come up and try and pick up that suspect that we saw brandishing the AK-47, firing indiscriminately around at police officers. I'm sorry. I don't know where this other guy went. I got him. Yeah. Okay, he's got a pistol out now. Okay. Down.